Jay and Rishi, first of all, a warm welcome to you both on Filme Shilmy. I think it's a dream come true for any journalist to actually have both of you together for a conversation. I wanted to congratulate you as well on Nakhre. I believe it's what number one on BBC's official music list as well. So it's such a big, making such
Yes.
big waves at the moment. I think it's really
Thank you.
special as well because you both are collaborating with each other. Just the two of you since 2004, I believe. So what drove you to reunite for Nakhre?
It was, it's funny. Rish and I have always, we've never lost touch through this whole journey. Our individual paths just happened to go like this. He went off to America first. He was in Atlanta, and when he was in Atlanta, we met and we did Freak. And then from Atlanta, he went over to India, and I, of course, the whole time was in America. So us seeing each other and being in the same room physically to be able to work together, it was just very difficult because of, he's on the other side of the world. And it's not one of those situations where I can say, hey, Rish, email me a beat. I want to write a song. It's our magic happens when we're in the room. So I had to physically take a plane over there, stay a week to hang out with Rishi, really get into a vibe and make these songs happen,
Right.
What Jay is saying that for us to work together, we've been talking for years that we wanted to do something. The two of us, how we did, how we worked on Jay's album, and it kind of took that decision where Jay was literally on the phone to me and like, okay, that's it, I've had enough. I'm getting a flight out to Mumbai.
Right.
I'm literally blocking off, 7-8 days with, I'm not even going to see anyone when I come to Mumbai. No gigs, nothing. I'm just going to see you every day and we're just going to work. And, and out of the 7 days, I think 3 or 4 days, we just hung out as we do anyway. We hung out, went out. Obviously, Mumbai's, got a great nightlife. So we were out a lot. And Nakhre was part of that kind of, when we got back from a night out, we were listening to Bollywood music and that's what we did. We just came up with Nakhre, really.
Wow.
Right.
That is so cool. I also really love, because I've watched the video a couple of times as well. I mean, I love the way, Jay, you kind of shoot, I think, amidst like desi shops in America. I think that was so cool. And then you've also included like that animation of like DDLJ and Sholay as well. And I just love those references. In fact, who came up with that idea for the animations?
It was actually a friend of ours called Pompatlal. He's a good friend, mutual friend. Yeah, we call him Pompey affectionately. He knows a lot of anime, and he actually, So he actually did one of your animations for your last single, didn't he?
Tell the truth. Stop messing around.
No, I'm joking. So you know what it was? Obviously, because it was shot during COVID times, very difficult for us to shoot a conventional music video. And I'll be honest with you, I'm actually quite glad that it happened this way, because the conventional music videos to me are a little bit, they're just cliche now.
Yeah.
I'm like, let's do something different. And this forced us to do something different. So, the beginning of the music video, of course, is a nod to Eyes on You, where I'm walking down the streets of Southall. So here we replicated those scenes. And this time I'm walking down the Little India of New Jersey, a place called Edison. And it was just really nice, man. It was actually quite a sentimental moment, just removing all of the extra fluff that we've been used to in music videos, extras and so much crew. And the fact that it was just stripped back to basics with one cameraman following me down the street, the same way I began, 15, 16 years ago. It really was quite a lovely moment.
Yeah, definitely nostalgic. I think seeing it was quite nice to see Kajol in a very interesting way make a brief appearance in the video through like the poster of the Joya Lucas ad, and of course her animation is Simran as well, as in the DDLJ segment. So I think that was really fab. But I think also Jay, I believe you sung in Hindi before. I think for the Desi version of Ride It. So how was your experience to kind of sing predominantly in Punjabi for Nakhre?
I mean, the fact that, I'm obviously Punjabi anyway, so
Yeah.
The fact that I'm singing Hindi is more weird than the fact that I haven't sung Punjabi.
True.
So Hindi for me, look, I love the Hindi melodies, especially those emotional, dramatic melodies. I love that. I've always been a fan of that. But I also love the sweet Punjabi melodies, right? So for me, doing those kind of melodies as a songwriter is very natural. And when I was writing Nakhre, as I was freestyling the melodies, when it came to the hook, that's the melody that came out. It wasn't a planned thing. Half the time we do things for fun. We don't even know we're going to keep it, and we just try it. We just feel a vibe. And Rishi was like, I love that. That's amazing. Keep that. And I was like, okay, what are we going to say? And that's it. We filled in the words. Kirani is a friend of ours. She was in the room at the same time. She speaks better Punjabi than me. And we filled in the words and we did it. And that's it. Boom. You have Nakhre hook. And it wasn't even planned.
Yeah, and I've realized Rishi's a very is a master actually at sampling desi sort of music within his works as well, whilst fusing it with modern sort of beats. I've realized that, and we'll be talking about that actually, Rishi, just later on in the conversation. But I think given that there's been a rise in a lot of digital streaming platforms now, I think more than ever. I mean, obviously on film sides you have a lot more streaming platforms, even on music as well. And you've launched your record label, Break the Noise Records. So in what way are these new platforms a big blessing to new and budding artists who perhaps don't have any links and kind of need that sort of a breakthrough?
Well, I think the times have changed now where you have to go and get signed. I mean, it's great to be signed to a major label, but I think even the whole structure of the whole the music industry has changed now. People are making albums in their bedrooms and literally putting it out on on Spotify, putting it out via TuneCore or CD Baby, making sure all the streaming platforms have it, and then somehow a major label might come and take it off you. It's one of those things where it's for a new record company, streaming platforms are one of the most important allies you can have in the industry now. Before when we started, we were very much about, okay, we need to get it playlisted on radio.
Yeah.
We need to make sure it gets playlisted, which is very important as well. That works hand in hand. But at the moment as well, especially with what's going on, people are relying on, people listen to music through streaming. Not many people buying music because they have their monthly plans, whether it's with Apple, whether it's with Tidal, whether it's with Spotify, Ghana, Hangama, Wink, JioSaavn, all these things.
Yeah,
exactly. So that's the way forward. So we, your streaming platforms are your new radio. They are your new TV. They are your new medium in a sense of getting your music out there. So I always encourage now people, don't worry about trying to get a label deal or trying to get signed. Go and put your music out yourself, because that's the way forward now. Plus you own your own music. So, it's something which I think it's come at a great time for me, as well as myself and Jay have our own label. So Nakhre was the first dual kind of, thing. And what a beautiful thing to do, like two friends who started off in the industry together, 15, 16 years later on, we have our own labels, which we've just put out a record, no major record. We didn't want to give it to anyone because this is our baby. And look, it's done amazing. And people can feel that, the pureness of when you put music out, when it's done from your heart and your soul,
100%. Also, I was going to say, I think it's a very nostalgic feeling, I think, to see you both back. I mean, as I was saying, for me, it's like a treat to my childhood. I mean, I've grown up listening to Stolen. I've grown up listening to a lot of the works that you both have been together on. And I think for many of us, I think, who have been born in the 90s and have kind of grown up throughout the 2000s, it's definitely a treat, I think, for all of us. But, Rishi, I was kind of speaking about how you're a master at kind of fusing like East and West aspects in your music. How do you maintain this balance correctly?
Thank you for that. I mean, I think it's based on, I really honestly believe it's my upbringing of, living, being in my teenage years, or even before that, when I was 10, 11, remembering my mum, listening to Sholay on the vinyl. The next minute she put Elvis Presley on, then she might put Cliff Richard, and then she might put, a LARP.
Sure.
for it was in that order. There was no order of like, okay, today my mum was like, today I'm listening to X. She listens. Her musical taste was very much what I produce.
Acha,
It is that
right.
fusion. So I've
Don't
learned,
have that Cliff Richard vibe, to be honest. Nakhre.
yeah, I that that
Hmm.
if you can tell, I've got this Cliff Richard Elvis look and everything.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
um, my thing is, so I've always believed in, I've had this kind of knowledge, and I think it's through experience as well, where you can listen to a song, you can pick out a sample, and hip hop artists and producers have been doing it for years.
Hmm.
If you look at producers like Wu Tang and DJ Premier and all these people who started off sampling jazz music. Hip hop has come from jazz.
Hmm.
So for me, it's always been about like sampling old Punjabi songs or sampling old Bollywood songs and making an R&B song out of it, or
Hmm.
sampling a flute and knowing how to do that. And that comes from obviously having musical skill as well. You
Oh
know,
yeah,
so
definitely.
and again, it was great to kind of do that again with Nakhre, use the Bazigar sample, and Jay did what his magic, and we created a whole song around it without it being distracting.
Sure. No, absolutely. Very, very well said. And I think it definitely does take someone with that bariki of music, someone who has that sort of flair in music to kind of produce the sort of style of content that you do. And I think, kudos goes to it. I think both of your journeys have been very iconic and inspiring in respective ways. I mean, Jay, speaking about you, I mean, I believe you were among the first British Asians to kind of represent us on a global level in the West. And how I wanted to just kind of wonder, I mean, how satisfied are you with the South Asian representation there currently is? What do you think can be better within this whole representation of South Asians in the West?
yeah. There's not many of us, are there? To
No,
be honest,
no.
mainstream. It's been like that for a while. It's something I think about a lot. I mean, even I came out on the scene 2004 as really. I mean, before me, Apache. A lot of people forget Apache Indian made it
Yes,
commercial.
yes,
And props to Apache. I remember seeing him on Rex and Effects, and I remember thinking that's amazing, a brown boy. And
yeah,
even then, that took 2002 years. Like, people were doing for an Indian person to be on in the mainstream, and we're the second biggest demographic in the whole world. It's
yeah,
actually really, really bonkers. And for me to be sort of like really, then once I got my chance to fly the flag, then I really ran with it. And for a lot of people, you know, that was for them their first poster boy, their first Indian poster boy ever.
yeah,
And I haven't seen many since. And that's not for lack of talent at all. At all. Trust me, I'm on TikTok alone has allowed me, believe it or not, to see how many incredible Indian vocalists there are. I'm currently talking to two right now who I'm
right,
trying to develop. And they're young, they're
yeah,
like 20 years old. And for me, I just think, look, number one, you need a hit. I don't care what anybody says, whatever background you're from,
yeah,
you need a hit. You can't
absolutely,
get
yeah,
into the charts because you're a certain skin color or a certain race.
right,
It's not going to be enough. It might be, but your people might want to support you, but the song needs to resonate. So you do need a hit.
mm,
And you do need a system to support you too. And I don't think that, to be honest, there's enough people who are looking in our scene,
mm,
and I feel like that's something that's still lacking. And Rishi and I have always tried to do that. Rishi especially is always looking to develop new artists from our culture. And now that's something that I'm trying to do as well. And if big majors aren't going to look, then it's down to people like me and Rish on our own labels to start putting them out. But
yeah.
really, it does come down to the music. You need a hit.
No, definitely. But I also think, to a certain extent as well, I feel sometimes there's a lack of unity. I feel amongst like the South Asian like community generally. I feel like, especially in terms of the entertainment sphere, I feel like it's almost like I've got it now. You have to kind of work. Like I don't know. Like I still feel that unity is lacking. Would you agree?
I mean, Rish, you were saying earlier that sometimes you feel like instead of celebrating each other's successes, sometimes there is a bit of beef, isn't there? Like, this is my
Yeah,
This is my pot. I've got it.
Yeah.
We've never been like that. You see me and Rish, I'm always bigging up other people who are doing well. I'm always like, I want us to win together. Like they say, like Jay-Z said, what you eat don't make me shit. Sorry to use that word. But it basically means do you. It doesn't affect me. Like, you should do you, win. I want you to win. There's enough room for all of us to win, you know?
Right. No, totally. And I think that's exactly something which I think everyone should kind of adhere to and try and interpret that in their lives, because it's very, very important. But I think, it's important with what you said. It is about the hits. And Rishi, you have been nailing it in Bollywood. I think before we started this conversation, I think we were just talking about how amazing Gully Boy was, and your music, and that was fab. I mean, Duri is something that I still listen to and I still kind of resonate very strongly with as well. Even in your works in Mubaraka, Bhangra Pale is fab. There's often samples in your Hindi songs, which, as you were mentioning just earlier as well. So since you work in Bollywood, we've seen a lot of increase in sort of remix culture. And I think that has kind of faced a lot of scrutiny because a lot of people are kind of questioning where the creativity has gone. What is your view on this? Do you think this whole remix culture is acting as a major barrier towards creativity in the Bollywood music industry?
You know, I have like a different kind of view on it. I was offered a lot of remixes to do, and I actually turned down a lot of work because I felt like sometimes you can't touch a song; you have to let it remain. But there has been some remixes that have been done, you know, and done very tastefully. And I think what happens, it gives it a new audience. You know, like if you're gonna remix a Bappy Lady song or a 90s song, let's say even, or you know, an Adi Burman song, the new generation don't know that. What happens is that a lot of the songs that have got that have done really well, it's opened up a new audience for the new generation, which then has kind of opened up this whole thing about, okay, let me see where it came from. And then the original has, you know, spiked up, whether it's in views or, you know, in downloads and stuff like that. So we're the record company, and we're the, you know, especially now with India, we're getting IPRS, everyone's starting to get their, you know, their royalties, and writers are getting their shares. It's very, very kind of beneficial now for a remix. If you're going to do it tastefully, and let your new audience kind of be, you know, kind of be like, let a new audience get to know where the original song came from. Some songs I don't think should be touched, but again, I think it's fine. You know, I think it's a remix. I consider is a part of sampling. You know, it's if you think about it, it's in the same family of sampling. So, you know, people can say, "Oh, we recreated the song for Bazigar," but we actually just took a musical hook. Some remixes that are happening right now, they're only taking like the big hook in the song, and then they're rewriting this, you know, a full song out of it.
True.
I don't know, maybe in 10, 15 years, someone might come and remix Dance With You, or someone might come and remix Nakhre, because you will introduce it to a new, you know, a new audience. So you don't know. I think it's cool if it's done right, if it's done tastefully.
Absolutely. No, I think spot on, because I think you've had some remixes which completely butcher the original ones, and I'm just like, what were they thinking? I think because it's become a bit of a shorthand to success nowadays. I feel what's happening with the Indian music industry is that I feel there's much more onus on commercialization, and I know it's important. It is the most important thing, but I feel somehow I just kind of miss that authentic songs, because sometimes when you have an authentic song amidst this whole remix culture, that stands out so much more, even if it's a very basic song, you know.
I mean, I was watching this program last week about the you know, the pop groups that were, you know, in the 2000s in UK, and there was this, and like I said, the remixes have their time. Like there was this time in England where, you know, where you had Blue, you know, Libby EX. They were covering things like Next and Mantronic's Gotta Have Your Love. They were remixing all these big songs. There was, and because the record company was like, actually, you know what? Blue have just done Next song Too Close. It works. Let's get Libby EX to do Mantronic's Gotta Have Your Love. There was this whole thing about people doing remixes.
Right. You know? At the end of the day, the truth is this. If you look at it, it's very, very simple. In movies, what are they doing? They're remaking old stuff, Ghostbusters, this, that, the other. They're doing sequels. Why are they doing sequels? Because it's a guaranteed win, because the last one won.
Yeah.
If you're spending millions of dollars, the execs are going to want a sure bet. It's just, that's it. So even with music, if you ask me, there's too much music in the world right now. There's so much. How do you stand apart? So what do the record companies do? Let's go with a sure win. That one 20 years ago, let's remake that. That one 15 years ago, let's remake that. So that's the commercialization of entertainment industry. And if you just look at it like that, as opposed to like a purist view of music, which us as artists, we're always going to have a purist view. I'm always going to go, no, Bollywood should be this and blah. But for the kids, it's just entertainment. And like Rishi said, the kids of the Gen Z generation have no idea of any of the songs from Sergeant Ashki, nothing. No. If you dire dire say right now, they would think it's a brand new song, and which they did actually. They did. It got redone, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. I think by your
and it was a smash because of the fact that a lot of the kids didn't know the original. So I think it's all about how you look at it. I think, there's always enough great music in the world, original compositions. And there's also room for the fun entertainment who remake songs,
Yeah, fair enough, absolutely. And I think that's pretty spot on, actually. But I think for both of you, because you both are excelling in your respective fields currently internationally, away from Britain, away from UK, how challenging has it been to kind of stick to your roots? Because I love the fact that you guys haven't forgotten your roots. You're still the same guys that I remember seeing on the music videos and in interviews 10 years back. And I think it's just so wonderful to see you being your humble selves. I mean, how do you not allow your heads to get lost in the clouds? And how difficult is it to stay grounded? Jay, we'll start with you.
Look, man, I think it's as simple as this. How you're raised, why you want it. If you want to get into music because you want to be famous and you want all of that stuff, you're probably going to allow yourself to fall for all the pitfalls of fame. And you're probably going to let it consume you because that's what you wanted in the first place, if that's what you wanted. If you just wanted to make music and you enjoy music and you like performing and you understand that fame is what you make of it. If you're famous, you have a choice. You either run with it for good or you go, okay, I'm famous because I'm on TV a bit more and people hear my songs. It's all how you look at fame. I personally don't think it's that much of a big deal. It's not. People recognize you because they, like I said, you put out music, you're on TV, cool. But I'm still a nice, well-raised boy from Hounslow by my parents, from a good family. And really, it's the people you surround yourself with. I became famous with Rishi and Jannah and Juggy.
Yeah.
Jannah at the time was one of the most famous Indian actor in the country. And he was so grounded and humble and fun and silly. We all came up together. There was no one with airs and graces around us. So we all kept each other in this little bubble. And that's how we've always remained. And I always say that I'm very glad. I personally probably wouldn't have gone into it if Rishi wasn't like an egotistical maniac, as talented as he is. I honestly, probably because of the person I am, couldn't work with him. I probably wouldn't be able to work with him. I wouldn't be able to. I would have gone, you're talented, but I don't like you. Sorry. But because we love each other and we grew up together, you just stay like that, man.
Yeah.
That's what it is for me anyway.
What about you, Rishi?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a case of, you see, for producers, I think we have a different sort of mindset because we are kind of in the background. I have chosen to be in the background. Like, I'm very happy being in this room. In fact, I haven't left this room since March, and it's great. I'm very used to kind of making music, but let the artist shine. And I think the minute I even stepped out of line, my mum would be on my case. It's like I've got into music because I love doing music, not for any other reason.
Right.
I think it's great to celebrate that you've done well, where whether you treat yourself, you buy yourself good things, you look after your family, that's great. But when it starts getting a bit egotistic and when you start believing your own hype, I think that's where you can fall. And I always believe that you've just got like this. I've always said this, like this is my job. You know, I don't work Sundays. You know, I really rarely work Saturdays. I rarely work evenings now. You know, I have a set time. I'm disciplined to come. I treat it like a job. The only difference in my job and probably someone else's job who works in a IT firm is that you see me on Instagram doing interviews. You hear my music. You know my name. Otherwise, it's just a job. You know, the job that I love and I've been, and I've done from day one. Like Jay said, and I've read, it's so true that if you get into music or in the entertainment business to be famous, that's where it all goes wrong. And like Amit Chana is a friend of mine that I've grown up since I was 9 years old.
Yeah.
And I was with him when he got the call. We were in Birmingham. We went to Birmingham, and he got the call saying he's in EastEnders. And he just looked at me and shouted, and he's like, "Okay, let's go. Let's go and celebrate." And we went and played pool, and went to a pub, and and went and got some food and stuff. So, and I remember like him being so famous, like but still having this thing. And I honestly believe as well, it's that West London, I don't know, it's this thing that we've all just been grown up with, where we just had fun with things, so even though I'm here in India, Jay's in America, we still have that kind of silliness when we're together. We're very much the same we were when we were in in Perivale, in Wembley, when we were working there.
Wow. Yeah, no, true. And I think it's very important to remain humble. I think sometimes humility brings out the best in you, regardless of whether you're an artist or not. Well, not sometimes, I think all the time. So I think that's definitely something I could also vouch for. I think on a final note, before I let you guys go, what can we see next from Rishi Rich and Jay Sean? Can we see another collaboration happening even a lot more quicker than perhaps a long wait since 2004? Rishi, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a song with Jaggi finished actually. So Rishi Rich project track. So yeah, so that's in the pipeline. I think we wanna wait until we all three can be together in a video and together. So that's there. And I'm working on some great new stuff. Obviously, I've just done Bad Boy Billionaires, which is doing really well. So the music to that. So I'm scoring a few. I'm definitely moving into the scoring element of my career, which is something where I do want to get into more scoring and stuff. And obviously working with Jay, the label. So yeah, it's all good, man. Some great stuff.
Fab. That sounds really exciting. And I think, Jay, before I let you go, I think the viewers of Filme Shilmy, and I think I myself would be so grateful if you could sing a few lines of Nakhre. I think that would be so cool.
Yeah, sure. All right, we'll go from better over time, I told you that I always in my eyes, eyes on you. And then the girl's voice. There we go.
Lovely. That was so lovely. I wish we could have had the female voice coming in for the longer one.
I'm so used to hearing her voice. I'm actually like, wait, what do I do there?
Missing the cue there, but yeah, no, but I think you did so fab. Thank you so much, Jay, and Rishi as well. Thank you so much. I think having you both today on Filme Shilmy has been a dream come true, and I think it means a lot to hear your music and to be inspired by such fabulous artists like yourselves. And may you keep conquering, and may you keep paving the way for all of us. So thank you very much, guys, for joining me today.
Thank you so much, and thank you.
Wicked,
thank you, Rishi. Thank you, Jay. Thank you so much. Take care.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.
Bye.